perfect yellowtail rod here. The perfect setup here. Release reel, super seeker. The biggest one I caught this season on this. Here's my ass beat. County line yellowtail. Fisheye channel FTW. Woohoo!
Junior Brassard here, Fisheye channel, wrapping up our product review of the Super Seeker 877 and the release reel. First I'm going to start with the Super Seeker. The pros about this thing is that it's light. The awesome bend on this thing is just amazing on these fish. These 25-30 pound yellowtail pull hard on the kayak, and you really want that soft tip with the stiff backbone, and this rod is excellent at doing that. This is the 877 15 to 25 pound rod. Excellent rod for what we're doing here. The cons about it, it's $350, which you kind of don't want floating around in the kayak that you might lose, but it's well worth the money for the fishing that we're doing. You really want the best quality rod and reel setup while you're catching these big fish, because they'll take everything they got from you, and if you have any weaknesses, they'll expose them. So the next up is the release reel that was donated by Trevor, and it's an awesome reel. There's not much bad things I can say about this thing, so we'll go into the pros about this thing. Going out in the surf, you're faced with a lot of waves and a lot of sand in the waves, so it gets in your reels if they're not packed up. Unfortunately, this wasn't packed up, and I had it in my kayak while I got hammered by a county line wave, which sent me and the kayak down the beach. This was underwater for a long time, so I was worried about the seal on this, but when I got out to fishing, I was amazed that there was no real damage when I was fishing this reel. So the sealing's awesome on this reel here. Fortunately, I was able to catch two big 25-30 pound class yellowtail on this reel in rod setup, and the reel performed excellent. The drag system was smooth. It was smoother in the lower end, but when I hammered it, it got a little bit sticky on me, and that had to do with the water. But other than that, this reel performed really well. Some of the cons on this thing was the clicker was too soft, so I had to fumble with the clicker because it kept going off on me. That was probably my biggest gripe. My next gripe that they already fixed was the handle, which chewed up my hand, but they told me that the reel and the handle is being replaced, so I wouldn't worry about that with this next phase of reels. But other than that, this reel is awesome. It's a lever drag system. They tell me there's 30 pounds of drag. I was fishing 30 pound test, and I was fluttering in just one area. With a lever drag, it's kind of hard to do that with other reels, because you're on a kayak, you're getting pulled back and forth, and you're fumbling with this thing. So that proved to be a really good quality about this reel. I set it in one position, and I didn't have to do anything with it. So that is our product review on these both rods and reel. I recommend this setup here is about $600, but if you're going to catch these big old fish, it's well worth having this setup, because you know you're not going to have any trouble pulling on these fish. You can get both of these setups at Eric's Tackle in Ventura, and he was gracious enough to donate the rod, and I think I'm going to steal it from him. So thank you, Eric, for the rod, and Trevor, with the release reel. It's an awesome reel. Thanks for letting us fish this thing. And oh, one more thing. One of the pros about this reel is it's only $250 for what this is. And this is an awesome machined 2-piece aluminum reel. And it performs well for a $250 class reel. So if you're not trying to buy a really expensive reel, this is an awesome reel. It's going to be it's going to take a lot of competition out of the Abbott reels because this thing is awesome. So be sure to check one of these out. You can get them at Eric's Tackle, and the rod also at Eric's Tackle. And we'll see you in the water.